Hello, my dear friends. I welcome you all to my today's daily dose. I am myself Dr. Rajesh Gubba. I am a cardiologist and I am also the mentor for you for teaching general medicine for exams like NEET PG, AIMS, PGI, and as well as JIPMA. So, as the part of today's daily dose, let me just give you the clinical scenario. So, I have a 19-year-old man and he is previously fit. Now he presented to me with shortness of breath on exertion. At times, he is also complaining of central chest pain. And I have examined him. When I have examined, I found that there is presence of a mid-systolic murmur on the left sternal edge. And the heart rate and blood pressure, they are absolutely normal and there is no edema in the individual. So I have done an ECG. ECG was showing the features suggestive of left ventricular hypertrophy. So I have done an echocardiogram, and what was this echocardiogram was showing? It was showing a significant thickened interventricular septum. And there is also delayed ventricular filling during diastole. And the very important history what he gives to me is that he tells me that there is also a family history of sudden death at the age around of 50 years. And which of the following drug would be your initial therapy? Digoxin, long-acting nitrates, beta blockers, rate-limiting calcium channel blockers, partial excision of the septum. So what do you want to do now? Now, you take all these points: exertional shortness of breath, occasional chest pain, presence of mid-systolic murmur, ECG suggestive of left ventricular hypertrophy, 2D echo showing thickened interventricular septum. So these are the positive points in this patient. Now all these points, they are in favor of a very important diagnosis, that is your hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. Because in patients with a hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, I should explain you why they will have this mid-systolic murmur. In case of the hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, the interventricular septum is thickened. So this thickened interventricular septum will form an obstruction to the flow of blood into the aorta. Why? Because this thickened interventricular septum, it approximates the anterior mitral leaflet. Right? It approximates to your anterior mitral leaflet. So when thickened interventricular septum is approximating to your anterior mitral leaflet, there will be obstruction to the flow of blood whenever there is a left ventricular systole. And that will result in the development of ejection systolic murmur or mid-systolic murmur. Now in these patients, what are the group of drugs that you need to give? See, what is your main problem now? The obstruction is your main problem. So you need to relieve the stress on this particular myocardium. So the inotropicity has to be reduced, the chronotropicity also has to be reduced. So for that, what we give is, we give beta blockers. So beta blockers are the drug of choice. Why? Because they will block your beta 1 receptors which are present in the heart, and thereby they will reduce the inotropicity and chronotropicity, and thereby they will also relieve your obstruction. And I want to tell you one important point here, that there are certain drugs contraindicated in patients with the HOCM. Now what are the drugs which are contraindicated in HOCM is that the drugs which are contraindicated is those drugs which will reduce the LV volume. Why? Because if you reduce the LV volume, what will happen to the obstruction? The obstruction, it further increases. Right? The obstruction further increases. So that is the reason why you should never give any drug which will reduce the LV volume. Now the question is, what are the drugs which will reduce the LV volume? Number one, digoxin is the drug which will increase the LV inotropicity, and it will decrease the LV volume, and it increases the obstruction, and it reduces the cardiac output. And you take your nitrates. Nitrates are also the one which will decrease the LV volume. How is that possible? Because nitrates, they will decrease the preload. Right? So when the preload is reduced, that means when venous return is reduced, ultimately your LV volume also reduces, the obstruction increases, and the cardiac output decreases. And you take your calcium channel blockers. Right? Calcium channel blockers can be given, but the preferable drugs here is your beta blocker. When do you give this calcium channel blocker? You will give calcium channel blocker in a place where the beta blockers are avoided, like in patients with COPD. There we give calcium channel blockers. Then what is the role of your partial excision of the septum? Now, if you see the treatment of your hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, first and foremost, the drug of choice is your beta blocker. Why? They will reduce the heart rate, they will reduce the blood pressure, they will reduce the stiffness of the left ventricle. If the patient is not responding to your medical management, right, if the patient is not responding to medical management, that is the point when you need to do surgical myomectomy, or you also have another interventional procedure called alcohol septal ablation. Now, in alcohol septal ablation, what do? In alcohol septal ablation, we will directly inject 100% alcohol into the septal branches of your left anterior descending artery, and that will cause the infarction of your interventricular septum. And in that way, the individual with the HOCM will relieve the obstruction. And I have already said you the drugs which are contraindicated in HOCM. Number one, the one which will increase the myocardial contractility, like your digoxin and sympathomimetic amines. And the drugs which will decrease the preload, like for example, nitrates and as well as diuretics. Both of them, they will decrease the preload, they will decrease the LV volume, they will increase the obstruction and decrease the cardiac output. So that is the reason why these drugs are completely avoided. And now, the very important in the history what he gives is the family history of sudden death. This is another important point in favor of your hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, because the HOCM, it is one of your inherited disorder. And why does this particular HOCM occurs? It is mainly due to mutation of a gene called beta myosin gene. The very important gene which is being mutated is the beta myosin gene is being mutated, and that is what is responsible for the development of your HOCM. So that completes a brief discussion about the topic of hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy and as well as its treatment. So I hope you might have liked this particular short video. So please do follow us for the daily updates through the daily dose. Thank you very much.